Hello, good afternoon. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for your messages here. Buen día, Blanca. Good afternoon, Isabel. Thank you so much. Fellow Jitster, I think it must be Enrique. Buen día. Is it you, Enrique? Hello, good afternoon, Vanessa. Perfect. Christy, hello. How's everything? I am becoming a little bit of an expert. I think I know how to transmit now. I just need to, take some time, but it does work. Aide, good afternoon. I'm so happy that you all came. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. YouTube says we're live. Perfect. Hey, I see myself now. I'm just going to mute the phone, but I'm able to have the chat as well. If there's anybody who would like to write anything here to the YouTube session, feel free to do that. Okay. Good afternoon, Wendy. Oh, I'm so happy you all made it. I finally got the authorization to transmit today, which made me very happy because I can have the afternoon tomorrow for a very special occasion. And since we are doing this, very well, of course, and we do this constantly, they didn't see any problem. And I think it was also good for us to meet today. Fridays are a little bit more social Fridays. So sometimes it's of course a little bit more complicated to meet with other people because we have things to do. Okay, perfect. I'll be attentive to the YouTube too. I think I'm becoming better every day at this. I'm happy because I can do things now that I couldn't. So let's begin. Are there any questions, anything that you want to address, anything in particular? Or I can start with what I have prepared for you today to get a little bit deeper into the simple present tense, a little bit more complicated maybe, to give you more vocabulary, to give you more ideas. Good afternoon, Wendy. Okay, that's the last comment I have. I have Wendy's and that's it. So I'll say we get into our business because we know this thing will shut us out, in 1 hour. So let's make a good hour, let's get the best out of it. 1 hour, let's get the best out of 1 hour. Let's get the best out of it. Okay. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. I think I'm going to be able to. Activity number 6, Aide. It's the one about the roommate with the questions and the answers. Questions and answers. I'll say what you can practice more, it's the description maybe of your roommate's routines. That'll be really good. But if you have the chance to practice also having the questions and the answers, it's also good for you because the questions need a little bit of an intonation. Because we make questions in English like, does Tom like to fly? We do like so it's good for you to practice this intonation as you're asking questions. Does she like pets? So trying this volume, intonation, and changes would be useful for you to practice having the questions as well. So I do recommend having the questions and the answers and the description maybe. The description would be the most important thing for you to do it more fluent, maybe more fluent, more trying to speed it up a little bit. But remember, I don't really mind that much if you take a little longer than expected. I mean, if it's not 1 minute and 30, 1 minute and 40, well, you may take those 10 or 20 seconds that are left there to give me something that you are practicing. That's why I care the most about. So as long as you practice. Okay, Aide, was that better? Perfect. Okay, muchas gracias. Thank you very much. You're welcome. It's always my pleasure. Okay, so remember yesterday we finished our session with some questions that I wanted you to notice. And I'm going to start from there. We had some questions and I told you to notice those because we're going to be working with simple present tenses and we need to be aware of a change that happens in these questions, the ones that I'm mentioning, precisely these questions, making questions in the simple present, okay? English is one of the few languages in the world that adds a word, do or does, to make questions. En este caso en particular es do or does porque estamos hablando de simple present tense. Pero cuando se trata de simple past tense, vamos a agregar the past of do, o sea, did. Cuando se trata de future, vamos a agregar un auxiliary que se llama will. Entonces será will y luego lo demás de las preguntas. Por eso es un poquito hasta, how can we say that, like, predictable. The word is predictable. Una vez que sabes hacer estas preguntas, ese do y ese does can be, again, interchangeable. Si dijera did, podrá tener sentido. Past tense. Si dijera will, va a tener sentido. For example, number one. Let's go to the notes in here. What I want you to notice first is that the WH questions, remember I told you about those, are the very first thing to use, okay? Of course, only if you have one, because not all of the questions are going to start with that. No todas empiezan con what, where, when, why, or how. I'm going to write in here that this is more than that. Part of my writing. I'm going to write that this is a W. Oh, pardon my writing. It's not that neat because I am a little bit I am inverted here. Oh, it works for me. Thank you. WH. Oh, good. Questions. Oh, it makes it clear for me. Let's see. How cool. I'm writing and this thing is predicting what I want to say. Good. Okay, so these are the WH questions, okay? Not necessarily there all the time. Not necessarily, but sometimes they are there. Perfect. Perfect, Isabel. I see you and I read you from YouTube as well. Caro, I read you from YouTube as well. Perfect, from YouTube. And I am working better on it, so I think I'm going to be able to handle both apps. Perfect. Thank you. I read Carito and Isabel at YouTube as well. Okay, WH questions. I'm going to change colors here because maybe we need to have this in yellow. Yellow auxiliaries, because like I said, right now it's do and does. Does solo por lo de tercera persona, porque se robó la S. Si no sería do, ¿no? En una estricta teoría diríamos, bueno, pues con do tenemos, pero tenemos que marcar la S de alguna manera y por eso tenemos does. Esto va a ser un auxiliary, but I didn't change the marker. Let me do it again. Auxiliary.
Acá también tienen perro. Creo que sí.
It's not going to work the same way it did before. Somebody just got in the meeting. Maybe you could. Maybe you could turn off the mic. Somebody just entered the meeting and has the mic on. Auxiliary, okay? Like I said before, this auxiliary right now it's do. But what if this was past tense? It could be did. Thank you. What if this was past tense? It could be did. What if this was future? It could be will. And many more. What did you study? And it's perfect. What do you study? And it's perfect. What will you study? And it's perfect. You know, I just did present, past, and future in the same question. I'm going to mark it for you to follow me. Let's use blue. What do, and I used you, and I used study. What do you study in present? What did you study yesterday? Ayer, past. What will you study? Okay, so it's like, ¿por qué no estás estudiando? What should you study? What should you be studying maybe, okay? So, like I said, it's very predictable. When we use the rest of the auxiliaries, you're gonna see that the pattern repeats. The pattern repeats. Sí, Isabel, te entiendo. Lo malo del YouTube es que se ve más lento, más con retraso. But luckily, you're in both apps, so The point of having YouTube is for you to rewatch this maybe, so that'll be helpful for. Entonces, aquí lo padre es que les digo que se hace como una especie de patrón. En donde va el auxiliar, irá el auxiliar que corresponda a otros tenses, al que fuera past, al que fuera future. Yo puse 2 ejemplos aquí, pero les voy a poner puntos suspensivos porque hay más. When can we meet? Eso es un auxiliary también. ¿Y lo ven? ¿Y lo ven? ¿A poco no? When can we meet? For example. Where can we travel? Where can we go? Where can we go? Okay. I want coffee. Where can we go? Y vean cómo nada más cambio el auxiliary. Yo digo otra duda, la estructura de los verbos juntos. Aplica también para cuando realizamos preguntas, es decir, like to read or like reading, ajá, o es like read por el auxiliar. Está perfecto, Aide. Aplica perfectamente igual. Fíjate cómo preguntaríamos, por ejemplo, do you like to read? Ahí no necesito WH question, porque en realidad pues quiero preguntar si hay algo que le gusta. O le puedo decir más específicamente, what do you like to read? Like, what do you like reading? Y las dos funcionan. Solamente con dislike. He estado investigando un poco al respecto porque aunque son también interchangeable, que son intercambiables, que puedes decir to read o reading, sí tiene una intención diferente como el decirlo con ing form, porque al parecer se refiere más como a la actividad. Yo en lo personal, perfecto, muchas gracias, you're welcome, Aide. Yo en lo personal tiendo a decir más con ing form. Tiendo a decir más las cosas con ing form. What do you like reading? Como algo que haces habitualmente, yo así lo relaciono, aunque sé bien que pues si dijera what do you like to read, estaría perfectamente bien. Entonces, va a ser un poco de preferencias y esto que les digo que sí investigué que va a depender un poco de a dónde querramos hacer énfasis, porque podemos enfatizar un poco más la acción si usamos ing form. Pero both are correct, okay? And you do the same with the questions. Yes, yes, you do. So subjects go here. I'm going to have maybe blue for the subjects. Oh, now it's not paying attention to what I'm marking here. Subjects over here. Perfect. And I'm going to use another color here, red. A really good color for these. Okay. And then I'm going to maybe type in here. This is the subject. Pardon me, yeah. And this is the verb. Verb. O sea, the action. Okay? You could add maybe some people do something like this and they just have plus. Oh, pardon me. Some people do plus this, plus that. If it works for you, it's sort of a formula. Some people do this to have a formula. They memorize. I don't really memorize that because with practice, you will be able to remember it. But if you want to, this is sort of a formula for you to follow and work with the questions. And as you can see, work with any question. No importa si es present, si es past, si es future. Simplemente vamos a ir acomodando a nuestro auxiliar. Y nuestro verbo, acuérdense lo que les dije, siempre va a ser simple form, except for have, has. Okay? So far, so good. Okay, now that we have analyzed this little formula on how to write questions, I want you to see something a little bit more complicated. What about having questions, more complicated questions? Let me show you over here, Safari. Examples, where do you work? What does he do? What did he do yesterday? Okay, I'm using past tense. When do we start? Why do they play football so late? What does she like doing at the weekend? Where do you go to the cinema? When do we leave? Something important about the WH questions, I'd like to know if anybody knows the meaning of those, you know? Where refers to a place. Where, it's a place. What, it's sort of a thing. ¿Qué es? ¿Qué es lo que hace? It's a thing, okay? How do they come here? ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo llegan aquí? The way, the means, the manner. We say in English, the manner. When do we start? When we want a date. We want to know when, we want to know cuándo, a date. Why do they play football so late? We want to know the reason why, the reason. And what, again, it's just a thing, where it's for a place, and when it's for a date. Those last three examples are sort of repeated. How does Hans get to the office? So remember that we use do and does for all verbs except for the verb to be, of course. To make questions with be, we invert the subject and the verb. Am I? Are you? Is he? Are we? Verb to be no necesita auxiliary. Eso es lo que nos están recordando. Verb to be es un verbo independiente que funciona solo porque describe, habla de uno, habla del sujeto. Entonces, verb to be, nunca verán do you are, nunca lo van a ver, porque no es correcto, porque verb to be es un verbo muy autosuficiente, vamos a decirlo así, ¿ok? Entonces nos hace aquí un recordatorio de cuando yo voy a hablar en verb to be, nada más tengo que invertirlos de lugar. Lo mismo sucede con el auxiliary, se invierte de lugar con los sujetos. El orden cambia, por decir así. For example, are you well? Where are the kids? What time is it? It's Shona sick? Am I late? When is the lesson? Why are we here? Okay. Esto puede ser un poco más familiar porque practicamos con introductions at the very beginning. So it's like, what's your name? How old are you? And those things with the verb to be, okay? Un verbo autosuficiente. No necesita auxiliaries. Do you are? Never, okay? There we go. Let's get things a little bit more complicated. I want you to check on adverbs of frequency. I once told you this. Hubo una vez que les dije esto. Always va a suceder un 100% de las veces. Usually va a suceder un 90% de las veces. Generally an 80%. Often 70%. You may say often. British say often and Americans say often. So whatever you want. Often or often, both are really good. Sometimes, 50% of the time is like, well, sometimes. A veces, tal cual in Spanish is a veces. Occasionally, it's a cognate. I don't need to explain that much. Seldom, vean cómo es muy poquito. Seldom, casi, pues, no tan casi nunca, pero es muy pocas las veces en las que yo hago una actividad. Rarely, I see hardly ever. Yo usé ahorita un sinónimo, usé hardly ever. Y never, okay? 0% of the times. I'm going to share this website with you once we're finished with the video. I mean, the pointers I always do, because they give you tons of synonyms of adverbs of frequency. What is the meaning of these adverbs? Is that we use them because their frequency, they express something that repeats. And if you remember, I once told you that simple present is used for something that repeats. Routines and habits are activities that are repeated constantly. So adverbs of frequency can help expressing this idea. For example, I always take a shower. I always take a shower. Okay, it's something that I do 100% of the times. So maybe I do that always, but not on Sundays, maybe, because Sundays are a pajama day, maybe. So I almost always take a shower because I don't on Sundays, for example, okay? So look at the way I'm working with these adverbs of frequency. I am placing the adverbs. Oh, this is not the one I want. I am placing the adverbs. Let me show you. Oh, how can I? Yeah, here. I am placing the adverbs right before the verb, okay? Don't get confused. We're going back to sentences, okay? Back to sentences. Affirmative sentences, adverbs go before the verb, okay? I always go to the cinema at the weekend. She usually has cereal for breakfast. They sometimes watch TV in the evenings, and we never go to the museums, pardon me. So look at adverbs of frequency placed before the verb, okay? Nota, nota. Ahorita que tengo verbos en affirmative sentences de simple present, vean cómo el frequency adverb está antes del verbo. Nota. La única vez en la que este adverb, este frequency adverb, va a estar después del verbo es con el autosuficiente. I am always on time. I am extremely punctual. ¿Ok? Nota, asterisk. ¿Ok? Todo el verbo que quieras siempre irá después del frequency adverb, except for verb to be, because it's so self-sufficient, it should be before the adverb, okay? I am always on time. She is always late. Yeah, she is sometimes talkative. She is sometimes relaxed, let's say, or stressed, you know? The verb to be goes before, but just that one. The rest of the verbs go after. How do we use them? Just like I told you, it means every time, it means most of the times, it means some small number of times, and never, of course, means no times. This is the same as the table, the chart I show you with colors, which I think it's better. I'm just going to take a pause to check on your chat. Okay. Vanessa, ¿sí me alcanzaste a escuchar en lo de la duda de la conjugación de los verbos? La misma pregunta que hay de, ¿verdad? Perfect, Vanessa, perfect. Entonces vamos bien. Voy a estar haciendo pequeños breaks para ver cómo van las preguntas. Si alguien quiere participar encendiendo micrófono, be my guest, porque así yo los puedo escuchar. Bienvenida a la participación con micrófono, ¿ok? Es más, si alguien quisiera leer, por favor, because it's always me. Esto es más familiar. We usually put the adverb before the verb, lo que les platiqué. But if the verb is to be, we put it after. We put the adverb after the verb. They are usually on holiday, and he is sometimes late for school. Okay. ¿Qué pasa con las preguntas? Que ya nos hemos adentrado en las preguntas. To ask a question, used often or how often, for example. Does she play football often? Ahora que van a hacer su assignment about a roommate, does she exercise often? Does she smoke very often? You know, like how many cigarettes does she smoke? Some people are considering that in their assignments. How often do you play computer games? Okay. Some of the examples that we have. Okay, we have a couple of games that I would love to have with you. And I'm going to post anyway this website for you to have it in your your folder. It says learning English with kids because remember, like I said, we're back to basics. We're learning a language just like kids do. So here we go. Okay, you have the link in here if you want to have the game on your own. ¿Hay algún valiente aquí que quiera hacer el juego y compartir pantalla? Bienvenido. Somebody? ¿Alguien que quisiera compartir pantalla? Of course, Christy, ninguna pregunta es de disculpas. Don't worry. Claro. Te escucho, Christy. Te escucho, te leo. Ok. Se escribe signo de interrogación. Yeah, good question. Good question. Solo se escribe al final. Solo se escribe al final. Vean cómo las preguntas acá también, en inglés, perdón, acá. Vean cómo las preguntas llevan question mark. Vean los signos de exclamación. Vean los signos de exclamación. Aquí también hay más ejemplos. She always practices the piano in the evenings, meaning every day. We usually go to the park on Sundays. Most Sundays, they sometimes make a cake just for special days. He never forgets his homework. No times, o sea, never, ¿ok? Vean cómo estos son exclamation marks. Estos se llaman exclamation marks y solo van al final. Mi internet está muy lento, no puedo participar mucho. No te preocupes. Lo bueno es que tenemos en YouTube la sesión. Cualquier cosa la volvemos a ver. No hay ningún problema. Muchas gracias por estar aquí. We usually put the adverb before the verb. Eso ya lo vimos, ¿ok? Yo tampoco en el celular no me hallo. Oh, don't worry, Isabel. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'm happy to have you here. I'm happy to have you. So exclamation marks go at the end only. Only. Same thing for question marks. Look at those question marks at the end only, okay? In English, it's different from Spanish. In Spanish, we have question marks at the beginning and at the end. And right now in English, it's just one. It's just one at the end. Okay? Me demoro porque estoy en mi móvil. No te preocupes, Cristi. Solo al final. Okay? Question marks. Pardon me. Question marks and exclamation marks at the end only, okay? At the end of the sentence only. Only. Enter, okay? You're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure. Is there anybody who would like to share the screen? ¿Alguien que quiera compartir pantalla y practicar el ejercicio con todos? ¿O la pongo yo? ¿Alguien que quiera practicar con micrófono abierto? Nobody? Muchos estamos en el trabajo y también es complicado. Game number 1. Adverbs of frequency. ¿Alguien que quiera practicar con las instrucciones? Reading. It's only reading. ¿Alguien que quisiera leer las instrucciones? Nobody? Everything okay? Everybody at work, maybe? Es que si es en el trabajo es más difícil. Okay, read the sentence and then you choose the correct answer, okay? I do want at least you to type the answers, okay? That can help. Examples. Remember, look at the verb, look at the subject in here. I do my homework after school every day. If this happens every day, what could the answer be? Dice Isabel, ¿puede ponerla usted, por favor? ¿Pongo yo el ejercicio, Isabel? ¿Te referías? I hope so. Let's see. I listen to some rings in here. Always. Perfect, Aide. Thank you so much. Perfect, Wendy. Always. I always do my homework after school every day. 100% of the times. Perfect, Isabel. Thank you so much. He goes swimming. He can't swim. He can't. So he never, perfect. Never goes swimming. He can't swim. Perfect. Look at the sentences. Look at the grammar. Perfect, Christy. Perfect. We have pizza for dinner. Just once a week. Vean qué poquitas veces, ¿eh? Once a week. Vean qué poquitas veces. Always, sometimes, or usually. Sometimes, perfect. Because usually sería un poquito más frecuente y sometimes no es tan frecuente. Oh, back to once a week. Quiero que vean rápidamente. Me regreso a, oh, it's not here. It's here, pardon me. I'm going to go back to the other side. You're going to be able to explore this with more time, of course. But if you go back to this site, you will see here. I want you to see they explain many things. Look at that. Oh, I remember I checked it somewhere. It was here. It's because I read it. Look at those, the beginning of the sentence. I wanted you to to show you that. I wanted to show you that. Then it must be here. Oh, pardon me. Just a second. Definite frequency. This is the one. Definite frequency. Adverbs of definite frequency like hourly, daily, weekly, or once, twice, three times. Right now we're taking once a week. Usually go at the end of the sentence. I visit my parents weekly. She looks in the mirror every 5 minutes. And they go on holiday twice a year. Twice, remember, it means 2 times, okay? Sometimes, Isabel, perfect. That was the one. Porque usually tiene más frecuencia. Perfect. And this is just once a week. Vean cómo se llaman estas palabras que son complementarias también del simple present. Vean, acá abajo viene to give emphasis. Adverbs of definite frequency can sometimes go at the beginning of the sentence. Every day, more than 5,000 people die in road accidents. Or more than 5,000 people die in road accidents every day, ¿ok? Puede ser cualquiera de esas dos. Y every day es algo que hemos visto todavía más frecuentemente en estas prácticas de simple present. Vean por qué era importante emplear vocabulario con estos frequency adverbs, ¿ok? Go back to the, I want to change tabs and it's right here, pardon me. There we go, pizza once a week. Definite frequency here, okay? They watch TV in English. They love it. They love it. That has to be frequent. Usually, Aide, perfect. And you're the fast, perfect. Wendy, yes, usually, which is like frequent because they love it. Maybe if there was always, could have been always. I talk to strangers. It's a really bad idea. Bad idea. It's a really bad idea. I never. Well, usually will be risky. I think usually will be risky y sería algo como muy frecuente. Entonces nos dan a entender que no porque es una mala idea. It's a bad idea, okay? Maybe new friends. That could be. Oh, you mean usually for another sentence? Maybe because we don't have the option here. Maybe Enrique means another sentence. Enrique, si eres tú, never, that's right. Bad idea to talk to strangers. Enrique, si eres tú el fellow jetster? Yes, perfect. Thank you, Enrique. I suppose that. Very good. She goes to the park on Sundays, like religiously. We say in Spanish, religiosamente, religiously. Every Sunday. Every Sunday. She goes to the park on Sundays. Every Sunday. Usually could be one option, but the thing is that it says every Sunday. O sea, parece que no nos dijera que va todos los días, pero sí es siempre en domingo, you know? Siempre en domingo, como el programa. That's right, Wendy. It's always. Nos dice cuándo, aunque no fuera todos los días, pero nos da a entender que sin falta todos los domingos. O sea, si es 100%, you may have some, yes. Si es 100% of the times on Sundays. Dice siempre, sí, los domingos religiosamente. Todos los domingos, always. We, ahora sí, me refiero a todos los días, except for the weekend, except the weekend. We get up at 7 every day, but the weekend. That's correct, Isabel. That's correct. The always was correct because it was Sunday. A lo mejor no todos los días, pero sí todos los domingos. Ahora es todos los días, but except for the weekend. I hear some noise. Exactly. Usually, that's right. Perfect, Vanessa. Usually at 7, except for the weekends, okay? I have cereal for breakfast. I don't like it. Look at the exclamation mark in the end. Thank you, Isabel. Good job. That's the one. Usually. Okay, let's see. Never. Perfect. Aide, Vanessa, Wendy, thank you. Christy, perfect. Never. Perfect, Enrique. Never. That's right. I don't like it. Never. I never have cereal. Perfect. Oh, we're done. Finish. 7 out of 8. Oh, we must have made a mistake somewhere. I just don't know where. Oh, we were so good at this. I'll check it out. Show feedback, but it just gives me the number, like 7 out of 8. I just don't know. Show answers maybe here. Could be here. Never. So how do we know? How do we know where our mistake is? I'll check it and I'll let you know, of course. Well, don't know what happened. Of course, I tried this before, making sure we were all right. We have another game, and I'd like you to try it on your own maybe later. Word to word, it's going to help you also making sentences and questions. So I'm going to do it right now with you. Será sometimes, I don't know, Isabel, I'm going to check it out and I'll let you know. I'm going to do it again because I did that before and it was 8 out of 8. So that's why I was like, where can we make that mistake? Because I tried everything I tried before, beforehand. So this is going to be, there's going to be time, at TikTok. Look at that. But we can mute that TikTok for you to, not to get so stressed with it, okay? But we do have 15 seconds to do this. And we're having a question, okay? So I do invite you to do this maybe later to try having the question done. So I'm not so sure what happens. Time's over. It will do it for me. It will do it for me now because time's over, but I'm going to try, okay? I'm going to try to do it for you to see it again, okay? Here we go. Thank you. I'm gonna try again. We're gonna try again. Oh, next, it's just getting me to the other. How often do you have toast for breakfast? Okay, so I'm gonna be fast. Please try it later when you're not having the session for you to practice, okay? After the question comes a sentence related with the question, okay? Oh, Isabel. ¿No se ve mi pantalla? ¿Solo le pasa a Isabel? ¿Sí me ven los demás? Ok, Isabel aquí tiene dificultades. ¿Me ven? ¿Me ven? Can you see the exercise? En el cel no. Sí veo bien, sí veo bien. Ok. Maybe it's your internet, Isabel. If you could maybe come and go. Igual si te sales y vuelves a entrar, a lo mejor eso funciona. Puede ser. Sí nos vemos, sí nos vemos. Ok, here we go. Ok, lo haré. Maybe. Aunque sea tiene YouTube, ¿verdad? Eso es una ventaja. Ok, vamos a empezar con las oraciones relacionadas con las preguntas. Veanla aquí, ¿eh? Next. Ok, we have a sentence. We have 20 seconds. Subject first, I. Quedamos que el frequency adverb va antes del verbo. I sometimes have toast for breakfast. Okay? I sometimes have toast for breakfast. It's a little bit fast, but it will be useful for you. WH question, how? often, frequency adverb, auxiliary, do you go to the park in the rain? How often do you go to the park in the rain? So cool. Sentence, subject first. I, frequency adverb, never go to the park. Pardon me, I meant the park. I said the park and I click on the other. In the rain. And it tells you it tells you that you're doing things the wrong way. So very lucky. Question again, WH, how often? Oh, pardon me, it's because they move. Auxiliary, do you, subject, get up before 7? This is so cool. How often do you usually, or what was it? How often? Oh, how often, of course, already. How often do you wake up early at 7, maybe? Okay. Answer, sentence, affirmative sentence. I sometimes get up before 7. Okay, next. There we go. How often are, verb to be, sufficient, self-sufficient. Are you late for school? Oh la la, this was so good. Next. Subject, I'm never, acuérdense que aquí el frequency adverb va después del verb to be. Era la única excepción. I'm never late for school. Oh, good. Come. School. Okay. Next. Question again. How often, auxiliary, do you, subject, watch TV in the evening? Okay. Next. Sentence. I, adverb, usually watch TV in the evening. You scored, of course, the first one. That was the example. Okay. Yeah, you may go. You may get it. You may get it. Okay. So I'm going to try again, of course, for you to check it out. It's word to word, and it's going to help you. Perfect, Isabel. Veo que ya lo ves. Terminamos la práctica porque es como súper rápida con el cronómetro, pero sí los invito a que lo practiquen después nuevamente, ¿ok? Después ya con calma. Por YouTube tampoco. Oh, me sacó y entro, no me escucho nada. Oh, me escucho. Vamos a ver, pausa. Ok, I'm going to stop sharing the screen maybe, detener transmisión por un segundo. Aquí estamos. How's everything? Wendy, maybe that helped? Like coming and going, está divertida. Sí, está. Y va rápida, va rápida. Yo como estaba aquí en el iPad, estaba cómodo para ir clic. Aide, yo sí escucho y va perfecto. Excellent. Okay, it must be some, yes, of course. It's here, Christy. I pasted in here in the chat, but you can have it again, okay? Se las pongo de todas maneras. Déjenme de una vez también la copy y pego. Y se las pongo de todas maneras en los pointers, así como siempre le hago, que pongo los pointers de la sesión, así se los puedo poner. Vamos a regresar acá, Jitsi. Okay, a message here. Va rápido, pero eso te va a ayudar a que te aprendas esto del auxiliary, subject, verb, ¿viste? Porque es una pregunta, one sentence. A question and then a sentence. A question and then a sentence. So, ok, ahí está. Learn English. Ahí está la de word to word. Es la segunda. That's going to be perfect. That's going to be perfect for you to practice, okay? So far, so good. You're welcome, Vanessa. You're welcome. It's always a pleasure for me to share things with you. And I do hope it's useful, okay? Because you have to work on your assignment about the roommate, and you're making questions and you're making answers. You're writing answers. So take this advantage, because some people are writing like, does she, let's say, does she have breakfast at 9? And some people say, yes, pancakes. but you're not practicing. O sea, si dicen nada más, yes, pancakes, no practicaron el realmente hacer oraciones completas, ¿no? Lo ideal sería eso. La idea es invitarlos a practicar, a realizar oraciones completas. Quiero ver aquí en mis enlaces. Les puse hace un tiempo, déjenme enseñarles aquí. No sé si, ya pude. Pensé que ya no podía transmitir así como más YouTube si estoy en YouTube, pero creo que sí voy a poder. Let's see, ok. 6-minute grammar, un poquito de repaso de simple present para cerrar con esto de simple present y estar listos para lo que sigue, que va a ser básicamente aplicar esta estructura. Por eso es que es tan repetitivo, pero es que es importante para su producción escrita, ahora que hagan su assignment, ahora que hagan su blog, les va a ser útil, por supuesto. Here we go. A ver si se escucha bien. Voy a compartir pantalla, a ver si funciona así, porque dice compartir un video, pero a lo mejor podría ser mejor con el video. Vamos a ver. Let's see. Ok, se supone que ya estoy compartiendo. Ya no me veo. Ya, ahí es donde ya sé que ya. ¿Verdad? Vamos a ver. ¿Funcionará? Here we go. 6-minute grammar from the BBC. Me encanta porque pues obviamente la BBC hace unos videos y un contenido en el que podemos confiar. En inglés decimos reliable, que es confiable porque pues naturalmente es una institución que muchos conocemos y que se caracteriza precisamente por ello, por hacer materiales en inglés, ¿ok? 6-minute grammar, review, present tenses, hasta que nos los aprendamos y podamos resolver el ejercicio de 15 seconds. Okay, I'm going to stop this just for a second. Like she says, the present tense can also become continuous, a continuous form of the present. ¿Qué quiere decir? Que está sucediendo en el momento, que es una acción en progreso, en proceso, okay? In English, we say it's an action in progress, the things that are happening now. For example, right now, no se escucha en YouTube. Voy a compartir el link, Carito. Te lo pongo para que lo sigas. A lo mejor porque es como de YouTube a YouTube. O puedo intentar por el otro medio de compartir un video. Lo voy a intentar también. I was saying, the thing is that you're going to use present continuous forms. No se confundan con el I like reading, porque eso es simple present. Aquí el verbo que manda es like, I hate, I dislike, I love. Simple present. El que después venga un ing no quiere decir que sea, bueno, sí es una forma continuous forms, pero la estructura como tal Tampoco en Meet, ya estoy en las dos. Entonces qué bueno que me dicen, porque está hermoso el acento. Lo voy a repetir. Wait a second. Ni a mí, yo estoy hable. No, sí, a mí sí, ¿no? Maybe the video is what you're not. So, casi nos vamos, 58, que nos va a detener en 2 minutos. Pero voy a dejar de compartir pantalla y mejor comparto el video. Vamos a ver si así funciona. Compartir un video. Pongo el link. Ok, vamos a ver si así funciona. Compartir. Voy a copiar el vínculo. Ok, here we go. Nos va a cortar la sesión en 2 minutos. El video nos escuchó. Vamos a ver si así. Thank you, Enrique. Nos va a cortar la sesión
From
en vivo,
bbclearningenglish.com.
Ahí se escucha.
Hello and welcome to 6 Minute
Can you
Grammar with
listen?
me, Catherine.
And me, Finn. Hello.
In this programme, we're talking about present tenses.
Now let's get started. The first thing we need to know is that the present simple tense is mainly for facts, habits and truths. Now, Catherine, give me a true fact about you.
A true fact about me
please.
is that I like gardening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Great.
Love it.
Thanks, Catherine. And can you tell me one of your habits?
Y es que ve, era imperdible.
I drink a cup of coffee every morning. I drink one at home and I drink another one when I get to work.
So far, so good.
Yay,
We make the
perfect.
present simple with a subject and base verb, and we add s to the verb for he, she, and it. So I work, you work, he works, she works, and so on. We make questions and negatives with do or does. So, Catherine, do you take milk in your coffee?
I do take milk in my coffee. Finn, do you take milk in your coffee?
I don't. I like it black.
And what about Mrs. Finn? Does she take milk in her coffee?
She doesn't drink coffee.
Oh, what does she drink?
Tea.
Oh,
All the time.
very British.
Yes.
Good. So that's present simple for facts and habits. Now, when we're talking about activities, temporary situations, and things that are happening now or around now, we use am, is or are, plus an ing verb to make the present continuous. So, Finn, what are you doing now?
Right now, right at this minute, I'm sitting in the studio on a
Yes.
chair talking to you. But off and on, I'm also reading a novel called The Unconsoled by Kazuo Ishiguro.
Ooh,
It's great.
well pronounced.
Thank you. And are you reading anything right now, Catherine?
Yes, I am. I'm reading a novel
Oh,
also. It's a comedy about Adrian Mole and it's really good. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Sounds great. I'd like
It
to
is.
borrow it.
You can. We can also use the present continuous for future arrangements.
Oh.
And
6 Minute Grammar.
And it goes all the way back, so sorry. It's because I wanted to stop it for a second to check on that continuous form.
it's really good. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Sounds great. I'd like
It
to
is.
borrow it.
You can. We can also use the present continuous for future arrangements. And so, Finn, what are you doing tonight?
Oh, tonight I'm taking my wife to dinner.
Oh,
Don't tell her.
lucky wife.
That's right. So present simple for facts and habits, present continuous for activities and future arrangements.
And now for the present perfect. We make it with have or has plus a past participle. It connects the past to the present and it's useful for asking about life experiences. So, life experience question coming, Finn. Have you ever eaten insects?
I have, yes. I've eaten ants
Yeah?
and beetles in Cambodia. So in the question, the word ever means at any time in your life. Never means at no time in your life. So Catherine, tell us about an experience that you have never had.
Well, I've never eaten insects, Finn.
Okay.
And I've never been on safari.
Okay.
But I'm sure that our colleague Rob has been.
Me dice Blanca que no se escucha, pero a lo mejor es tu equipo. A ver, estoy en el micrófono aquí. No será tu equipo, Blanca, porque
6 Minute Grammar.
en YouTube
From-
sí me escuchan, yo sí escucho, sí, a lo mejor es tu...
BBC Learning English.
No, a lo mejor es tu equipo, Blanca, hay que
Experience that you
checarlo.
have
Si no, de todas
never
maneras,
had.
comparto el link,
Well,
ya
I've
sabes.
never eaten insects, Finn.
Okay.
And I've never been on safari.
Okay.
But I'm sure that our
Perfect,
colleague Rob
Enrique, thank
has
you.
been on
He's
safari.
been to many places.
Yes.
Yes.
Other words we can use with present perfect are just, already, and yet. We use just, already, and yet a lot when we're using the present perfect tense to talk about the present effect of a past event.
Okay.
Already means
So,
something has happened
present perfect, it's going to be
Safari.
something. Let me just like
Okay.
stop in here for a
But
second.
I'm sure that our colleague Rob has
there.
been on
He's
safari.
been to
Present
many
perfect
places.
is
Yes.
indeed something
Other
a
words
little bit
we can use with
more
present perfect
complicated.
are just,
So, if I
already,
may, I
and yet.
recommend you to stop
We use just,
with the
already,
present
and yet a
continuous.
lot when we're
El que
using the
venía con
present
ing
perfect
form,
tense to
de tener video, hasta ahí. No necesitan todavía los 6 minutos. Video left the meeting. Ah, qué padre. Ahí le voy entendiendo. Okay, very good. I'm sorry, I have to go. Carito, ya acabamos. No tarda esto, de hecho, en sacarme de la sesión en vivo, de la transmisión en vivo. No te preocupes, you're welcome. My pleasure always. My pleasure, Carito. Entonces, les decía, quédense hasta ahí, hasta present continuous. Present perfect tenses son todavía un poquito más complejas y esas se aprenden más bien. I'm sorry, I thought my dog was here. They're usually here at my feet, but they're not, of course. I have them in my bedroom. So I was saying the present perfect tenses are more complicated, and we usually, as students, we usually learn them once we once we become experts with the simple present, the simple past, the simple future. So wait a little bit until you get there. The present continues if you want to explore and expand your language another level. You are ready for that because that will be next. You're welcome, Vanessa. You're welcome. I'm going to post everything. In the news forum, I put everything there for you to access to it later, okay? If there is anything you want to talk to me about, any questions that you want, I'm going to call the roll. Me despido. Perfect, Isabel. Thank you so much. Yo también ya nada más paso lista súper rápido y nos despedimos a descansar un ratito, ¿verdad? Bueno, mejor nos ponemos en el foro. Nos vamos al foro. Okay. Let me just call the roll here very quickly. I have it in my drive. I hear someone here in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Christy. No need to thank me for. Okay, you're welcome. Always a pleasure. Let me see very quickly here. Asistencia. Okay. Carito was here. Aide, Blanca, Wendy, Isabel, Vanessa, Christy, Enrique. Okay. ¿Me faltó alguien por mencionar? Según yo estamos todos nosotros acá. Vamos a ver. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with Carito in YouTube. Creo que estamos todos, ¿verdad? Los vuelvo a repetir. Si alguien no se escuchó, por favor me dice. Carolina, Aide, Blanca, Wendy, Isabel, Vanessa, Christy, Enrique. You have it. It's yours. Yours. I thought something fell. Okay. Vamos a ver. Isabel, te tengo. Vanessa, te tengo. Wendy, te tengo.